We start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight losses to Denver. This time by 11 points. LeBron on fire early and then was watching Joker catch dunks in front of him in the fourth. AD played amazing, 32-14, 4 blocks. Not even a Defensive Player of the Year finalist.
I know. I was surprised.
Finally.
He was on mine.
He was also gassed at the end, though. Here's LeBron postgame.
We could have been better. I thought we played some good ball tonight, but we could have been better. You don't have much room for error versus Denver team, especially on their home floor. They're just a team that's been through everything. Obviously, they're the defending champion, so you got to execute, you got to make shots, you got to defend, and then you can't give them extra possessions.
Okay. Is this series already over?
All right, well, that's an on its face ridiculous question.
True. It's only one game.
But this is going to be, and it already has been, across the sports media world, overreaction Monday to every series, not just this one. Like right now, I am almost certain if I picked any of the 8 series and asked Kevin Wildes, maybe you as well.
Have an upset.
Not me.
Wait, who's
Are
going
they
to?
over?
Who's your pick right now to win? You'd go 8 for 8 on the team's up 1-0. What's the one you wouldn't? What's the one you wouldn't?
Pacers.
Okay, the Pacers Bucks because of the injuries.
Second half, the guy goes scoreless.
But the point being, like right now, Minnesota looks like, why can't they win the title? The Clippers, it's, you know what I mean? Imagine when they get Kawhi Leonard back, while the Mavs, who were the hottest team in basketball for 2 months, look totally lost. There is the NBA playoffs. One of the things that's great about them is, and an NBA writer, it might have been Justin Verrier, I'm not sure, someone tweeted this out, and it really encapsulated my feelings, which is when your team wins a playoff game, in the moment after, you're like, how are they ever going to lose again?
That's true.
And when they lose, it's like, how can you ever win a game?
Now, are you doing this as 1-0 or 9-0?
Okay, well, I don't look at it at 9-0.
If the Wolves won 9 straight against the Suns.
So I don't look at it as 9-0. I look at it as 1-0. Now, so that part I think is just true. Here's the downside. My pre-series analysis was correct.
That's true.
But then it all just repeated itself. All the things that I said why I thought the Lakers had a really good chance, like, well, D'Angelo Russell's not going to be as bad in this series as he was in last series. And then, unfortunately, when we show you the numbers, he got more opportunities and more minutes, but he had another brutal performance. Well, LeBron is not going to wear down in the fourth quarter of these games the way he did in the conference finals because he's fresher than he was and healthier than he was. And then in this game, he wore down. And LeBron's overall numbers were good. I thought he was not good in the final 15 minutes of this game. He had some bad turnovers, and he looked like the oldest guy in the league for stretches out there. But despite all that, no, the series is not over. And in fact, even if the Lakers lose tonight, this series hasn't even started yet, according to some of the wisest minds ever, which is the series does not start.
Some series never start.
It's crazy. They're like playing games. They happen, but they don't show up in the history books. They never happen. So no, Brew, this series is not over, and this guy's going to overreact. You are the NBA's conscience.
That's true.
I'm going to trust that you're going to be level-headed with it.
Well, I am. And I think you said, the thing you really said was smart. And I say every year in the playoffs, whoever wins the last game, it feels like,
Here they come.
It really does. And it'll be this way throughout the entire 2.5 months. That said, it's over.
Okay.
All right? It's over. I mean, and here's the thing, Nick.
Good.
The Lakers know.
That's what I said. That's what I said last week.
But it's like, how can they not know? It's 9 straight now. 4 of the last 6 have been by double figures. All right? And here's the other thing. It's not like it's 9 over 3 or 4 years. You know, you play them every blue moon.
11 and a half
months. Right. It's not even a full calendar year.
Tricky.
You play them once a month and you get beat. And so they have to know deep down inside that it is over. Here's the thing, Nick. You said it. AD was awesome.
He was great.
LeBron's, numerically, the numbers were great. We know he faded at the end. But
have
still,
a graphic for
if I'm going to get 59 from those two, basically 30 per guy, I'm happy. And you mentioned this. You forgot to mention this just a moment ago. Jamal Murray. You were saying, is he going to average 32 or
Contained
whatever?
him.
They did contain him.
Yeah, he was 9 for 24.
Yep.
So the two big guns for the Lakers, statistically at least, played really well. The second guy for Denver didn't.
Yeah.
And they still won by double figures. So if this is a big if, because D'Lo, he's had playoff issues times 3 when you play him against the Nuggets. But if D'Lo steps up, or Austin Reeves even, and has that big game, I mean, Murray is going to have big games too, so maybe he just totally evens it out. So I definitely think Denver just has their number. And here's the thing. I knew the Lakers were in trouble in the first quarter. When they were looking good, right? LeBron had his foot on the gas, 12 points, 5 assists. They were shooting 62%. Denver was shooting 41%, and they're up 8.
Yeah,
right? And it's like, I mean, LeBron just went out and tried to punch him in the face, and he did, and they just took it and didn't even flinch, right? And usually, Nick, and we've talked about this versus the Warriors, the Lakers have a big size advantage against a lot of teams.
Against the Denver and Minnesota, they don't.
But right. And those are teams, I mean, Minnesota beat them 3 out of 4.
Right, that's my point.
And obviously they struggle with Denver. They have it over OKC. They have it over Phoenix, Golden State, even though they lost some games this series. And then, look, Nick, too, D'Lo and Austin Reeves can't guard.
Wow. See, I think Austin Reeves can guard a little bit. Austin Reeves seemed
better than D'Lo.
Certainly. And then you go wild.
Yeah.
The part of this game that was most disconcerting to me was Austin Reeves seeming
scared.
Yeah. Which Austin Reeves was actually good in the conference finals, and he was obviously good in that playoff run. It didn't seem
he
like
was scared?
He just played so tentative.
Yeah.
I need to start writing down the funny tweets I see, or the smart ones, so I can give better credit. But somebody said Austin Reeves needs to. I'm not as clever as you. Austin Reeves needs to take some of D'Lo's confidence. So D'Lo has less and Austin has more.
That's 100% right.
So Austin just at times seemed like he wasn't even looking at the basket. Like he'd get the ball and almost, a circular dribble away. So I think that because we've seen him play in bigger spots, I think that will find its level there. But your point about their issues defensively, which is why theoretically Gabe Vincent was supposed to matter. He only plays 9 minutes. He's coming off an injury.
Didn't do much.
Here's some cogent analysis from the Mayor Fair. Here was LeBron in his first 27 minutes. He was on fire. In last 14,
he was out of gas.
He also seemed reluctant to shoot, but because I'm the Mayor Fair, I mean, when he was doing like behind the back bounce passes to other guys for 3, that he kind of, I'm not saying he conceded the game, but he said, you know what? He took a 10,000 feet view. It's like, let me see if anybody else can get hot at the end of this game and maybe carry over to game 2.
That he knew that he didn't have a lot left in the tank and was like, if we're going to, whatever I have left in the tank, the only way we're going to have a chance of winning is if somebody else, either now or later in the game, you know what I mean, catches fire. So I felt the same way. I also, speaking of the tank, again, it's too late in this season, but the NBA probably at some point needs to look in this altitude thing. It seems like
hold up, Nick. Denver has never won a championship until last year.
I get it.
All right, so
it does seem unfair.
I played at altitude at an All-Star game, and it
seems a little unfair.
It hits you in about 2 minutes.
This whole thing of like Denver never having, except for I guess Melo or Alex English, even like a Hall of Fame level player. Maybe that was Dan Issel. That's the way it was supposed to be. Because this is like they're just an unfair advantage. I'm not making any excuses.
But it seems fair.
And I know it's going to get clipped, but you got to at least look into it. You got to do something. Like give them extra timeouts or something. I don't
That's
like
fair.
it.
Meanwhile, the Joker dressed as a cartoon character to start the